Hello! So, I have completed the trading post for July, as you can see there, which wasn't too bad considering all the various things we have going on at the time, although I mainly took advantage of the Midsummer Fire Festival. So, the last one I got was the gathering ores, skins, or fish in the herbs, ores, skins, or fish in the outland. There we go. So, as I've done before, it feels like I did that last week or last month. Excuse me, which very well may be the case. So, a lot of these, as I said, were going to be the Midsummer Fire Festival. So, dance with the Reelers, which you can do. I did Stormwind and Booty Bay on one character, and then Orgrimmar on another, so you don't have to complete these on all one character. Complete one Time Walking Dungeon, one Burning Crusade Time Walking Dungeon. The Tamers, as I've done before, those are fairly easy, especially if you have level 25 pets. I did, to make the most efficient use of time, I did the one in Shattrath, the one in Negran, and then the one in Hellfire Peninsula, and then just flew around Hellfire Peninsula to get the Fail Iron ore, which still sells for a fair amount. So I don't sell it, but I'm collecting it because I'll either use it or eventually sell it or do something with it. So seems like something every once in a while I have to go back and find. So the Tamers, defeat a raid boss, so I did Black Temple to try to get my last Warglaive to complete the set, since legendaries are increased as well during July. With the, there you go, the Collector's Bounty. So, it's really the only other legendary I think I really need. I've already got the legendary bow. I've got the mace. Yeah, so the bow from Sunwell. And then the mace from, was it Yoldar? Whatever the, should know this. The Yoldar, yeah, the raid there. So the Warglaives were about the only one. So I digress. Where were we here? So yeah, so defeat a raid boss, desecrate a bonfire in Pandora, which is really simple because they're both right across from one another. Pole dance, which was easy. Scorching's bowed at, so they're little like flame. They're like very small flame elementals. So that one was like 50, 25, 50, something like that. Honor the Flames, Khazalgar, so that was simple enough. Defeat the raid boss during Midsummer Fire Festival, so I had to do that on 2, so just did that on my on 2 tanks, so my Monk and my Demon Hunter. Simple enough. Stolen Flame. And in addition, the nice thing with the dungeon now is most people know when to pop everything when her defenses are down, which is nice. That has not always been the case in the past. Complete the Stealing Orgrimmar Flame or Stormwind Flame. So this is where you have to go to the capital, as far as I know, and then take the other faction's flame. So I think Alliance have it a little bit easier with Orgrimmar. The Alliance one is kind of nestled in behind some buildings and stuff, so it's a little bit more difficult. I mean, you still can probably do it, but I think it's a little bit more difficult. So defeat 5 raid bosses. So as I said, did Black Temple. Earned reputation throughout Kazalgar. So there you go. I don't remember actually what I did to get that one offhand. So upgrade with Valor Stone. So I was trying to upgrade the set on my monk to get the normal appearances. So was already kind of working on that, so that just kind of happened naturally. Defeat a world boss. I did the Godfather there because some of that gear is still an upgrade. Defeat 20 raid bosses. So I did, as I said, Black Temple, and then I did Ice Crown Citadel for Invincible, which did not drop. So I think those two probably were close to 20. I was trying to think. I don't think I did anything else. Oh, I did Eye of Eternity, which I did get the Blue Drake to drop, so now I have both of them. So I already had the Azura Drake. And 10 quests, which I got doing, I think mainly the Midsummer Fire Festival. So like the like honoring the flames and all that, all the desecrating and all that. Those are all quests. So yeah, and that was my. You actually needed 1,400 instead of 1,000, so that was. I got about exactly halfway, about 750, just doing Midsummer Fire Festival, and then just ran around doing my regular, or doing the other stuff to get the rest of the way there. So it wasn't too bad. So there we go. So there were a few different things. So there was the mount, which is very nice. Actually, it looks really good on my Tauren. I came to the trading post first to look on my Tauren, and Tauren don't always look right on a lot of mounts, but they actually look like they fit on these. So, and then there was the trading post set, which I have mixed feelings about. And then, if we go to back, there was back. There we go. There was the cauldron type of appearance. So, which I tend to. I like the idea of the back pieces, but I tend not to use them because they cover up your weapon. So.
Come see my well.
That is going to be a lot of the trading posts. So they did something that I don't particularly care for, which is they put 2 color variations in. They gave you one, and then you have to buy the other, which I don't particularly care for. I would rather they spread this out. Because you don't necessarily have enough to get both. I do, because I haven't bought anything in like the last three trading posts, and this one's mostly going to be the same, I feel like. So I decided whether or not I liked this transmog, and I like the colors, but I don't particularly care for the sets in and of themselves. So yeah, so same thing as the green one that was a bonus, just purple. And then another mount, which is very nice. I do like these. They are very detailed. Yes. And I do remember playing an undead, and it seemed like a bigger deal to get the undead horses than it did on the Alliance as a human to get the regular looking kind of chargers. So, and then the fail boar, which is pretty sure it's not in the returning, but I feel like this has been in here before. And then we have some weapons, which I do and don't particularly care for. So just same color variations. So Warglaives. I do need to bring my Demon Hunter through and see if I actually like these, because I'm trying to collect more of the Warglaives. I think I'll probably be playing my Demon Hunter more in the future. So, another Cauldron, which is kind of nice. Might use that on my Warlock at some point. And then just variations of the green Warglaives. And the swords. Kind of difficult to see there. There we go. And then the maces. Now, I do actually kind of like the maces. I was very tempted to get the maces. Yeah, like those. 200. It's not terrible. They are detailed. They do have that little kind of animation there. So, yeah. And then purple swords. And then the quiver, which I thought was interesting, because it's a quiver of roses. So I'm not sure if these are just general back pieces or if they're limited to hunters. But the bows I don't particularly care for. Then you have a green version of the quiver. Again, don't really use these because they hide your weapon, if I remember correctly. Like if you use the one Sylvanas drops, that hide your weapon. If you use the one that obviously comes with the artifact weapon, you get to see both. So I don't know why they just didn't do the same thing with wands, which I don't know anybody that uses a wand, so I kind of just overlook that. And then recolors of things we've already gotten. And then I was quite excited. We finally got a recolor of a cloak and cowl. So, look at that. Now they're mixed matching colors. I'll probably grab that to add to my collection. And then sweatsuit. Oh, I kind of didn't notice that. Kind of like that for 100. Probably grab that. Why wouldn't we? Really getting more into the simple transmogs lately. And then returning is Blub, which actually does match my transmog quite well. And yes, I am aware I look like a Dragon Ball Z character. Typical kind of abilities for, well, maybe except for Renewing Miss and Wish, kind of, but still pretty much on par for what a water aquatic pet has. So yeah, these are way too much. So I feel like 500 for this. 250. I feel like would be fine. I might be more inclined to get it for 250 just to because it is kind of a unique looking pet, but I don't ever have them follow me around. I find it a bit annoying. It was fun for like a minute when I first discovered companions, like back when I first started, and then ever since then it's just kind of annoying. So I mainly just collect them now to level for the trading post to complete the achievements, basically, or if there's something that you need them for. That's pretty much it. So yeah, and then the Deep Sea Treasure Pack, which again is kind of nice, but just don't really use back pieces all that much. So. And then the helmet, which I vaguely remember. So, that is the trading post for July. So, going to go ahead and actually get the charger. Which, the charger is cheaper than the, just noticed that. Yeah, so go figure. There is no rhyme or reason to any of this. I'm not really interested in the blades. I will come back for the Warglaives once I see what they look like on my Demon Hunter. Because traders, tenders are a finite resource. For 200, I will throw them in the cart and we'll see where we are by the time we are done here. Not really going to worry about the quivers because I don't particularly care for the quivers. I kind of like the purple one. But I don't know that I would ever use that for sure. So bows don't even interest me. Now that quiver I actually kind of like, because it looks more kind of natural for 175. We'll throw it in the cart. Why not? Not interested in the wands, because who uses wands? There's, oh, I'm missing all kinds of things. There's the purple sweatsuit. Sure, we'll grab that. We'll grab the cloak and cowl. Not interested in the tabard. Grab the other one. Grab the sweatsuit. And then we'll have a heart attack when we see how much we're going to spend. So, and it just equips everything. I like that. I like that. That's good. That looks, well, at least it picked all the purple stuff. So, yeah, it really did try to equip everything. Because it's got the headpiece from the set, the weapons. I'm guessing it doesn't have the back because of the quiver. Yeah, okay. Okay, so there's the mount, the maces, the back. The plum sweatsuit, the cloak and cowl, and then the... Oh, that doesn't look terrible. Yeah, okay. And how much do I actually have? Does it actually... Oh, there we go. So, yeah. Thinking about the maces, but I kind of like the maces. The undead face in the middle and the detail and everything, so... Yeah, I think that'll probably be fine. I think that might be about the most I've ever spent on a trading post. Okay, well there you go. So, not bad. Definitely one of the better ones in the last few months. Again, I just really don't like when they put like all the color variations on. It does get
Spirits
a bit
bring you good
annoying.
fortune.
I was curious to see if that quiver was strictly a back piece.
Francis, lucky doos and roofs.
No, I guess I didn't need to. No, it must be limited just to. Let me search for trading. No. Oh, there we go. Oh, maybe you can. Okay. I was also curious to see. Yes, there's the other charger. Very nice. Okay. So curious to see were the sweatsuits not a set? I would have thought those... No. Huh. Oh, that's kind of weird. You would have thought those... Because I assumed...
Oh, I have just the
Yeah, it shows the set I just got. Huh. Those were... Okay, I'm gonna have to look at that. But I wanted... Oh yeah, there it is. There's the quiver. Dark Ranger General's quiver. So apparently it's not exclusive just to hunters. Okay.
Farewell, friend of the Grammels.
And then I was curious, was...
It's good fortune seeing you.
Does this show me what I've purchased? Yeah, the sweatsuits were... Yeah, they were just cosmetic. So are they not considered a set?
Luck be with you.
That's kind of weird. You'd have thought. It's not collected. That is really weird. Because you would have thought they're not part of that, because that wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, because other sets I've bought, like these swimwear sets, Yeah, I wanted to look to see. It doesn't typically show you it doesn't typically show you if there's a recolor, but sometimes they do. So I was just curious to see, but that's really weird. Okay. So it does not count them as a set. Okay. Interesting. Well, there you go, folks.